Lines, Reba. A humble revision of the wonderful achievement of the late Dr. Edward Conze, now of the 21st century. By Richard Babcock. Chapter 12. Showing the World. Perfect Wisdom, the mother of all Buddhas. The Lord, it is as with a mother who has many children, 5, or 10, or 20, or 30, or 40, or 50, or 100 or 1,000. As she falls ill, we each do whatever is possible to prevent this mother from dying, to keep her alive as long as possible, to keep any unpleasantness away from her body. As we are aware of the fact, to her we owe our existence, as in her own great pain she brings us into this world, as she instructs us in the way of this world. We now look directly to her, give her anything to ease her discomfort and suffering, protect her well, make much of her, and we hope she is free from pain derived from contact with eyes, ear, nose, tongue, body, or mind, or coming from wind, bile, phlegm, or a disorder of the humours, or from stinging insects, mosquitoes, or crawling animals, from beings or from ghosts, from anything falling upon her, or tearing her asunder, or from a disastrous crash. In this way we honor our mother by giving her all this which may ease her suffering, allow for her to know how dear she is, cherish and protect her, as we are aware she is our mother and begetter, who, in her own great pain, brings us into this world and instructs us always in the way of this world. In just this same way Tathagatas bring this perfection of wisdom to mind, and it is through their might, sustaining power and grace we write, learn, study, spread and repeat this. And these Tathagatas, which also dwell in other world systems just now, for the weal and happiness of all, with great compassion for all and for the weal and happiness of this great body of beings, with compassion as this absolute sameness of all beings, these bring this perfection of wisdom to mind, and are of great zeal, as this perfection of wisdom is lasting, as it is not destroyed, as what's seen as Mara and his host cannot prevent this perfection of wisdom from being taught, written, and practiced. So fond are Tathagatas of this perfection of wisdom, as much do these cherish and protect its process of perfection. Wisdom is mother and begetter, her process of perfection indicates and reveals to us all knowledge, her perfection instructs us as the way of the world. As her perfection do Tathagatas appear. As her perfection begets, indicates and realizes pure cognition as all-knowing, this perfection indicates to us and as us this world as it is. This all-knowledge of Tathagatas appears as her most profound perfection. Tathagatas of 3 times as well as beyond our enlightened perfection of wisdom. It is as this perfection of wisdom these Tathagatas are instructed and generated, and instruct and generate us in this world, so we may be instructed and generated, and instruct and generate as well. Thus we come, thus we go. Flashes of enlightening and pure undifferentiated awareness, identical with absolute emptiness, this dark as pitch notion, infinite as space. How Tathagatas know the world. Subhuti, how does perfection of wisdom instruct Tathagatas in this world, and what is this the Tathagatas call world? The Lord, the 5 skandhas, are by the Tathagatas declared as world, loka. Which 5? Form, feeling, perception, impulse, and consciousness. Subhuti, how do 5 skandhas come to be shown up by perfection of wisdom of Tathagatas, or what is shown up by her? The Lord, skandhas are shown and realized by this perfection of wisdom of Tathagatas as this world, loka, as these do not crumble, nor crumble away, lugiant, prolugiant. These 5 skandhas are emptiness as to any own being and devoid of any own being and sameness, inasmuch as can be said with any meaning whatsoever of emptiness, so, can neither crumble nor crumble away. As this sense, this perfect wisdom instructs these Tathagatas in this world. As emptiness can neither crumble nor crumble away, so the signless, the wishless, the unaffected, the unproduced, non-existent, and all completeness of any realm of Dharma. How Tathagatas know thoughts of all beings. Moreover Subhuti, due to this perfection of wisdom, Tathagatas quite naturally know immeasurable and incalculable beings as these really are. This comes about through the inevitable dissolution of obscurations. For, herein is simultaneously revealed an increase toward, or away from pure cognition, depending on one's perspective and relationship to these 6 perfections and noble eightfold path, primarily right intention and right action. Eventually this pinnacle, awareness, comes about as all knowledge. This is, however, completely different and other than bits and pieces of knowing formulated of some discursive thought process. This naked realization is of an objectless and purely undifferentiated experience of this uniform non-existence of any individualized or collective own being within any sentience whatsoever. Again, Tathagatas are naturally aware of thoughts and actions of immeasurable and incalculable beings, since here, or anywhere, in any time, or in any way for any beings is no real existence. This indication only of something called existence, exists neither as separate individualities as many ones, nor any totality of individualities, neither any singular one, nor any grouping of two or more, and not even simply as one divided into many, because ultimately and this means even now, any beings and things are incalculable and immeasurable. And even still, Tathagatas, again due to this perfection of wisdom, are naturally aware of the collected thoughts of countless beings as only collected thoughts. And how do Tathagatas come to be cognizant of this? This is naturally cognized, for as pure awareness, this collectedness of thought is realized as equivalent to extinct, for anything called singular, lone, or individual thought, etc., speaking also in terms which are thought of as having an existential basis and from some point of view in existence, does not exist, and is purely cognized as not other than already as infinitely absolute by Tathagatas. But this doesn't materialize or manifest as having been thought of. What does matter in truth is, what is such as eventually becomes thought as any relative result of its original, pristine continuum of absolution. Or even, what is any thought at any time or place, a result of, in spite or regardless of what we may think? This extinction is just non-extinction, as this which is realized as extinct, is no thing to be extinct and as such is merely non-extinct. Furthermore, Tathagatas are naturally cognizant of distracted thoughts of beings as such, as these Tathagatas realize reoccupation with any thought as mere distraction, for just as objects of this world, even thought is known as external, and a grave distraction from this sourceless source of which these are spontaneously manifest with neither time nor limitation. Not even mindfulness can be effortlessly directed as such toward this realm of Dharma. For even as in this consideration of the one divided into many, in truth, what is this dreamed of one anything other than, as a basis, from which to determine its singularity? As here is no thing other than this one has no thing or support upon which to lean to determine either itself, or any phenomena whatsoever as this or these dharmas. So as even one cannot be determined as such, how much more so hundreds of ones? How much more so hundreds of thousands of ones? How much more so hundreds of thousands of nayutas of kotis of ones? Such is what is meant as immeasurable and incalculable. Such, in this true aspect, is infinite. This one, all ones, are exactly identical as being only an instantaneous reflection of an inexplicable and spontaneous interdependence merely seeming to be individuated by habits coming to be established from beyond any thought or knowledge of this process of reification, hereby creating, first of all, this duality called thought itself, ignorance, so as to attempt to determine some separateness of an illusion of even this non-existent oneness, an appearing of something, from the essentially pure infinite space/awareness as ground of any and all being. Suchness is a wholeness at once of space and primordial awareness. Here is neither one nor parts of one, neither many individual ones nor none. As